Hi all, welcome to my next Flosstube video. My name's Sally from Dark Owl's Crafty Corner, and thank you for watching today. I've got a little bit to talk about today, so yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, I want to say a huge thank you for all of the new subscribers I've got. I think my Whip Parade brought in quite a few of you, so I'm really grateful that you watched that. I think I said in my video that I wasn't actually planning on doing a mid-year Whip Parade. So obviously I'm really glad that I did, because it did bump up my subscribers quite a bit. I've enjoyed reading and replying to all of the comments that you all left on that video, and some people who have watched previous videos and commented on those as well. So I just want to say a huge thank you for that, and hope you enjoy the rest of my videos. Like I say, I've got quite a bit to talk about today. I've only worked on a couple of projects since my last video. I'm counting it from my last normal Flosstube video rather than from the Whip Parade. So this is going to kind of be my July wrap up and my plans for August. So yeah, we'll get into that. So first thing I want to get into is my Whip Go for July. I managed to hit both of the prompts on my board for it. So number 2 was 500 stitches on my moth project. I'll get into the stats of those in a second. And number 16 was to buy a new pattern. I ended up buying 5 new patterns, so well, 6 in the end, but I'm not counting that one because that was an impromptu one later. But again, I'll show that in some of the haul a bit later on. So yeah, I managed to hit both of my prompts for those. Very happy about that. I'll get into the Whip Go for August as well. So the numbers called for August were 12 and 15. Both of these are quite nice ones to do. So I've got number 12 was to stitch away from home. I have got a couple of little like stitchy days planned for this month, so that one's an easy one to actually do. The next number was number 15, which is work on different coloured fabric. I'm counting white as being my different coloured fabric. So again, that shouldn't be too difficult because I have my moth project. I was really enjoying working on that in July, so I'm not too disappointed about having to pick that up again. I am thinking about starting another project. It is only a small one, but I'm thinking that it might be nice on a purple fabric when it gets to that section of the video, because it was the new pattern that I bought. I'll probably show you the fabric that I'm thinking of starting on, because I think the colours will go really nicely together. So again, that shouldn't be a difficult one to actually achieve for this month. So I'm going to start off with some bad news. My initial plan was to show my moth project, but I can't actually find where it is. So I have no idea where it is. I must have lost it during my Whip Parade. So that's a bit of a shame. I have looked in all of the bags I think it is in. Oh no, right, disaster over, we found it. So this is my dead butterfly project from on Etsy, X Cross Stitch Pattern X. That's a full version here, and then this is the progress. Well, this is the where we are at the moment. So in my last video I'd done 400 and something stitches, I believe, and then I've worked on all of this wing and some filling in some areas here. So in July I have worked on it for 1,133 stitches, and that brings it up to 77%. So it's really not a big pattern. It's 4,394 stitches altogether. So I've done 3,385 altogether. I've got my tablet here with my pattern keeper on because I've got my notes, but I forgot to put my percentages down. So well done me. But yeah, so that's coming on nicely. So I think if I can work on this for this month, for my whip go, I think that'll come out really nicely, and we might even get this finished this month. So who knows, if that can happen, then that would be really, really good. So next up is the Heaven and Earth Stitch Along, the Innocent Dreams pattern. I'm really happy with how this is coming along. It's just, even when I'm only doing a small section, I'm not sure if it's just because I've picking out blocky sections or what it is, but this is coming along so nicely so far. I did have to actually move the Q-snap. I can't see where I'm putting the frame. So I've folded it over now. So that's all behind the Q-snap. So I thought I'd take it out for that. My original plan was to work all down, well, I've done most of what I wanted. It was to work in these sections so I could move it across. So I have done that now. There are a couple of stitches down here at the bottom, but I thought those would be easiest to get when I move it down, or up, whichever way you want to look at it, whether I move the pattern up or the Q-snap down, just because of how close they came to the edge of the frame. So it comes across here. I think there's only a couple of squares left. I think it comes to probably about here. So I'm really happy that I managed to move this across. Down here was starting to be a bit of a pain with where the Q-snap was previously, because some of them came down here. I like to use the threads, the thread colours that I'm closest to. I don't do the diagonal method or parking or anything like that. I kind of just flow with which bits are next to each other. So it was becoming a bit more difficult to get these sections because of how close it was to the frame. So I thought it best to just move it over, and then we can work on all this section, and this section doesn't get difficult. When it starts to get a bit difficult around here, then I'll start to move it down, make sure all this top section's done, and then I can move it down again. For the actual numbers, because I haven't told you those, I've done 3,700 this month in July. So altogether I've done 32,651, which brings it to 38% of the total for the 85,000. Doing my maths of where I should be to be able to get it finished at the end of the year, I should be at 50,458. So it does need a lot of catching up still. But me and Josh, my partner, we're discussing the possibility of me just doing it for an hour or half an hour each evening, because at the minute I don't really do that. It's unless I have a good stitchy session, I don't tend to pick it up on an evening. It's not too difficult. My Lowry's downstairs and I have all my threads in my bag on the chair next to me. So it's not actually that difficult to pick it up and just do a couple of stitches, but I don't like leaving threads unfinished. So if I only have chance to do half an hour, usually my thread length is longer than that. So I don't usually like to do that. But what I've thought about doing is any of the blockier sections, I will leave those to do during those little tiny sessions that I can do about half an hour to an hour on. Just so that the more difficult, intricate confetti sessions can be left when I've got more time and it's not going to be too confusing to get that finished. So hopefully if I can continue doing that, I should be able to catch up. I think at the moment on my Stitch Pal app, it says that I need to do about 350 to get it finished by the end of the year, and that's not realistic for me. I don't have time to do that every day. So if I can do parts of those in a day, like 100, 150 with the blocky bits, then I can catch up on the weekend or when I have a stitchy day, and I usually pump out about 1,000 to 2,000 on a good stitching day. So yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. It is tent stitch, which is why I can get out so much get out so many stitches on a good stitchy day. So yeah, I'm doing that on 25 count. So yeah, that's the stitch along. So if you haven't watched my whip parade, you won't be aware of this new start. I'm not even sure what day I started this on. Bear with me, I can have a look. So I started this on the 14th of July. This was one of the patterns, well, it was the pattern that I bought for my whip go. But it didn't stop there. I decided to buy quite a few more patterns for it. I think I bought 2 or 3 at that time, and then I saw that there was some others that I wanted, so I bought those a bit later because there was a Heaven and Earth sale on. So this new start is Peacock Liaison. I'll put the normal fully finished picture there. And so far I have made a start on one of the lovely peacocks, which I have done 4,218 stitches on, and that brings it to, drumroll, 1.46%. So there's 289,375 stitches in this piece. I absolutely love this piece. It's been in my wish list for a really long time, and I really fancied something a bit more colourful to work on. I know the bunny isn't too bad and Yumi's not too bad. They're not like really dark, but obviously the Heaven and Earth stitch along is a lot of greens and Yumi is a lot of purples. And I'm happy with both of those, but I just wanted something really fun and really vibrant to start, and this really was just calling my name. I never start in the middle, but this one I wanted to start with something fun. Obviously when you're usually doing one of the corners, it's usually a bit of background. I mean, even on this one the corners are quite nice, but I just really wanted to start with one of the peacocks. I decided to do a bit of this stitching as well because there is a lot of this colour in the pattern. So I've still got 21,000 stitches to do of this colour. So my plan is to do some of the peacock and then go back and do some of this colour, just so I'm not left with all of that before I end up moving my frame, or whichever way it goes. But yeah, I'm really happy with working on this. It's so nice to work on. It's so beautiful, and all the colours merging together. Oh, I really love it. I've loved working on this. So yeah, I did 4,218 stitches on that in the month of July. So as I say, I ended up buying 5 Heaven and Earth patterns in July to meet my whip go goal, which only required 1, but I couldn't help myself. As I've said in previous videos, I absolutely love Margaret Morales's work, and there's loads of them that have been saved in my wish list. So originally, when I bought Peacock Liaison, I bought the Hades and Persephone one. So Peacock Liaison, I'm not actually sure who the artist is for that one. I'll put that up. And the Hades and Persephone, again, that's been in my wishlist for quite a while. And I think I even said in my last video that I might buy it soon. So that might be the one-on-ones I bought for the goal. So yeah, it did happen. I bought the full charts of them. There were some minis that I wanted, but I didn't feel that they worked as well. So on the first purchase, I bought those 2, and then the second one, I saw that there was the sale on, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get them while I can. So the first one I bought was Kakomu. Not sure if that's how you say it, which I'll put the picture up. So again, this is a Margaret Morales one. I absolutely love it. Love all the colours in it. I love koi fish, and I just thought this would be a lovely one to start. I also bought hers for Lunar Goddess. There was a mini version of this one, but it was max colours, and I didn't want the max colours. I've got one pattern in max colour, and I've barely done anything on it because I hated starting it. It was a black, it was, oh, what's it called? Can't remember the pattern name. I'll put the picture up. I started that, and I started in the top left corner. The door frame just looks black. It looks perfectly fine as black. No issue where you start. And then there was like small bits of green dotted in, and I just thought, I can't be bothered to do that. That wasn't even max colour, that was the colour expansion. So when I saw that the only mini version was max colours, I just thought, I can't be bothered with that. So I ended up buying the full version. Again, that was the normal version, not colour expansion or max colours. And then the third one I bought was Watchmen. Again, there was a mini version for this, but it looked a bit odd. The eyes of the bird it looked really strange. It didn't look like a normal eye for him, so I just thought, I'm just going to buy the full version. It's going to look a lot better if that's how I'm feeling it's looking on the mini. I didn't want to waste my time buying a mini version if I wasn't going to be happy with it, because obviously that was still going to be probably near to 100,000 stitches if it's anything to go by with my Yumi pattern, which is 85,000. So I thought, you know what, I'll just go all in and get the full version for that. So those were the 5 Heaven and Earth purchases that I made. I wanted to get started straight away on Peacock Liaison, and I didn't have the money last month to buy in July, to buy the threads for it. I have had to pay for some stitchy retreats, and I looked at it. I had to pay for 2 stitchy retreats, some of the installments, and I had to buy my train for one of them, which train tickets are extortionate. So I thought, I just really struggled with that. Josh owed me a little bit of money, so I asked him, I was like, oh, can you buy me the threads? If I send you the details, can you pay for the threads for Peacock Liaison? Because I use CXC. So there's a seller on Etsy, and you just send them the details. So, you know, on the Heaven and Earth, where it gives you the details of how many skeins you need for each colour, I just send her that off, and she works out how many it needed for each one, and then she'll send you a quote, and obviously you just pay it and she'll send them out. So I asked him, I was just like, would you mind doing that for me? And he's like, yeah, no problem. I sneakily added in the threads for Watchmen as well. He didn't know about it to start with, and I sent him, I said, oh yeah, this is the price, but this is the price for Watchmen as well. He was like, oh, I saw you sneak that in then. And I was just like, yeah, I really want to get started on that one as well. So luckily he paid for the threads for both of those, so I was able to start on Peacock Liaison straight away. He's loving how it's looking at the minute as well. So again, I didn't say Peacock Liaison, nearly had a collapse. So this is on 25 count and is 10 stitch as well. All of my full coverage, apart from Astrology Cat, which is on hold, are 25 count, 2/1, 10 stitch. So that's all my pieces. But yeah, he paid for those, thankfully. I was really appreciative of him doing that for me. So even though I snuck in an extra one. So the other day I also bought another pattern. It was Cronies of Free Action. I'm not 100% sure of who I bought this from on Etsy. I will again put a little slide along thing of the name of them. I'm rubbish at keeping track of who they are, so I will put that in there as well. But I really liked that, so I just saved it to my collection thing that they have on Etsy, and I just thought that'll be really nice to have as a little stitch. So I wanted to show Josh because I thought he'd really like it as well. I thought it'd make him laugh, And when I showed him, I just thought, you know what, I'm going to buy it. It ended up at being like £1.60 for the pattern. It was on sale, and I think there was another 10% off or something. So I just thought, I'm just going to buy it for how little cost it is. I'll just buy it. Again, with how small it is, I might actually start that relatively soon. I really like the colours on it. I was debating on actually changing them because I like the colours, but I feel like for me there were other colours that I would have preferred it to be. But now that I've thought about the fabric that I'd like it on, I think the colours are going to look absolutely perfect on it. So if you just bear with me, I will go and get that fabric now. So I've had this fabric hidden away for quite a while because I just bought it because I thought it was pretty, had no idea what I was going to put on it. So this purple, it's not coming up very, it's coming up quite murky on the screen. I know a lot of problems happen with colours coming up wrong on camera. But it's in person, it's this gorgeous, well, purple. Yeah, it's just really not, it's got sparkle in it, some iridescent like threads running through it as well. And when I saw it, when I thought about it, I was like, that's just going to be the absolute perfect fabric to put that on, and the colours will still be really nice on there as well. Won't have to change anything about the colours. So I'm really looking forward to starting that with those colours. Obviously it has the DMC thread numbers on there, but I don't know if I'm going to bother with that. I think I'm just going to use the colours that I've got that's closest to it, because they're all pretty blocky colours, so there's nothing going to be wrong with, like, I can't even think of what, like blending or anything like that. It's not going to cause an issue, so I think that's going to look really nice on that purple. So I have actually bought another cross stitch, and it was a kit. It was off one of the cheap websites, if I'm completely honest. So I can't even remember which one it was off. I'm not sure if it was AliExpress or one of those ones. So I am aware that the pattern, the artwork could be stolen, which I'm not too happy about, but I didn't really know where else to go to get them where they're not stolen, because I wanted a printed piece. I'll show you the picture's not very clear. This is the only picture I can get of it. So it's like a little anime girl type thing. And it's a printed kit. It's quite a big one. So I have made a start on it. So this is the top. I haven't bothered including this in any of my videos. I had started it before my last video as well. Not my whip parade, the one before that. I had started it before then, but because I don't have any numbers on it, it's not like my other cat one, where I can make like small progress on it and show you. I find it really difficult to see printed ones on videos, so I haven't really shown this one off at all. And I was a bit dubious about sharing it because of the possibility of it being stolen artwork. I was in two minds about that, because I don't like that being the case, but at the same time I couldn't find anywhere to get legitimate printed kits. So if anyone does know anywhere that I can get legitimate printed kits, then that would be really, really helpful. Could much rather get them from like people who would actually get paid for their artwork and their time than one of these. But I still wanted to include it because it is something that I'm working on. I have only done a little bit in the corner. I decided for this one, for the little confetti, to do it in the blocks of the 10 to move it over, just because it is printed, so it's not too difficult to count across. But yeah, I was enjoying working on this. I think it's 14 or 16 count, I'm not even sure. But yeah, I was enjoying working on that. Just when I couldn't really concentrate on counting at all or anything like that. So I think what I'll do is, with these, it's the same as my bookmarks. I'm not sure if I showed those in my earlier videos. I haven't done anything on those recently, but the bookmarks I love doing, and I'll just do wherever I fancy on the pattern. I won't work down through the corner or the centre or anything like that. If I find a section of the pattern that I want to do at that point, I'll just pick that and then go into that. To be fair, it has been packaged quite nicely. So I've got the full bag, sorry about the rustling, and then inside they have actually packaged all of the threads up quite nicely and numbered them. So they have got the thread numbers underneath. You can't see it, but they are on there. So I was dubious about sharing that. They get quite a few needles as well, and a threader. I was dubious about sharing that because at the same time I've just said about it being stolen artwork. I have no idea whether the artwork is stolen or if they have been paid. I have no idea about it, so that was why I was a bit dubious. So if the artist has been paid and they have been done for that, I apologise for saying that they haven't. But there was a dimensions kit that I wanted. It was like a Japanese garden one, and that artwork was on one of the printed kits. So it was like, I'm pretty sure that whoever dimensions artwork it was, or whatever, however they do their payment for their work, I'm pretty sure that they weren't getting paid for that one off the website that I was on to purchase that one. So yeah, it was a bit dubious, but that was it. I made the decision to buy that, and whether good or bad, that's what I've done. I've purchased it now. It makes no sense to not do it. I've still paid the money to whoever has got that, so I'll carry on working on it when I'm a bit tired of concentrating on any of the big pieces. So that is it for my stitching for the month of July. I have got a couple of little life update things that I'll carry on with in a second, but if you do just come for the stitching, then thank you so much for watching, and I really appreciate it. If you've got any comments, then please leave them below, and if you haven't already, if you can subscribe and like the video. I love to see any likes, any subscribers, and any comments come through. When, as I said at the beginning, I got a lot of love for my WIP parade, and every time I saw even one subscriber or one comment or anything, I got really excited about it. And I think Josh is sick of hearing me talk about it, going, oh, I've got another one, I'm up to so and so, oh, I've got another one, I've got another comment. I think he's probably sick of hearing that. I know that he's happy that I'm getting them, but I think he's getting a bit sick of me going, yeah, okay. He's like, okay, yeah, well done. He does like it, but yeah. So thank you so much for that. So I've only really got one thing to share with you this week, non-stitcher related, and that's in regards to my Warhammer. So again, if you're not interested in that, thank you for watching. But yeah, we go to our weekly club, and they have a painting competition on every year, and me and Josh usually put in a model for each entry. So they have like a single miniature, a large miniature, a squad, and an open category. And this year I decided to not enter anything. I haven't really got anything that I've been working on that I was really proud enough to put in the competition for this year. Nothing that was fully finished anyway. I know I showed my robots in a previous video, and I'm really proud of those, but they're not completely finished, so I didn't want to put those in. But last year I won 2 of the categories. I won the large miniature, and the same model won best in show, where it's voted for by everyone else at the club. So originally, like, the large miniatures and the categories are selected by like the committee of the club who run it. and Best in Show is just voted for by everyone else who visits. You all get one vote to vote for whatever you want, and I did win both of those, so I was really proud of that. And this year, because of that, they asked me and Josh to vote on, be part of the committee to do the voting. And one of the guys came up and just went, "Oh, would you be interested in doing the voting, doing some of the voting for it?" And I was just like, I'd be absolutely honoured. And he was just like, "Oh, really? I was surprised. I thought you'd say no." And it's just like, no, why would I say no? And then I thought about it. I was like, "Oh, this is such a big deal. I'm voting on other people's painting." And I did ask him. I was just like, "I'm voting with other people, aren't I?" I was like, "It's not just I get to vote on one category and everything." And they were like, "No, you do get to like discuss between the rest of you, like the committee, who you want to decide for." So that was a really nice thing to be able to do for the club. We've been going for a couple of years now. I think it's been 3 years, because I've entered at least 2 painting competitions. So it's been like 2 or 3 years that we've been going. So that was a really, really nice thing to have to do. It was a really nice thing. I don't know how else to say it, really. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing that, and I'm looking forward to actually getting some more painting done. I know I discussed it in my last video as well, or one of the previous videos. I do want to get some more painting and get a good balance between my stitching and my painting. When I've got more done, I'll probably put some more in my videos. Again, I'll do it towards the end, so anyone who's not interested can just finish the video beforehand. So yeah, as I say, that's it, I think. So thank you all so much for watching this far, and thank you for subscribing and liking and commenting. Everything really, really does help. If you've got any of the patterns that I've been doing, or are interested, or anything that you want, if you leave a comment below. And yeah, I'd love to see you next time. Happy stitching. Bye.